said.
Let me just quick correction. It wasn't Adolf Hitler. I think he may have used it,
Okay.
but it was Mary von Ebner Eschenbach. That's who made the quote.
Okay.
Slovakia. I remember he used it or something like that.
Verse 10, of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you, searching what or what manner of time the Spirit of the anointed which was in them did signify, when it testified beforehand the sufferings of the anointed and the glory that should follow. Yeah, that's the thing. This the stupidity of the church? Is you don't realize that there's prophecies telling of Yahweh Shai. This is how you know who he was. That's why it says, oh, he opened, time when in the temple opened, I think it was Isaiah, and then spoke it and then said, oh, now this is fulfilled before your eyes. Because why? Yahweh Shai was prophesied of. He was set up from before the world was made. Again, we're essentially puppets on strings playing out our roles. And that's why it says, Second Peter, what? They'll come in the last days scoffers. People basically wandering after their own lusts. Because why? They have a role to play as well. Guys scoffing on the comment boards, reporting videos, all that, getting channels taken down. Even the elites of Esau, basically they're trying to scoff against his word and bring it to naught. But what? We've all got our set jobs to do, man. And that means that's why the time's been appointed. There's set bounds on how this thing's gonna go down. There's set bounds on when Esau's time's gonna be up. And it's like that hour is only the Most High knows when that time is. But then what? Everyone's in the heavens. They're ready for that instruction, man. They're eager. It says what the righteous are crying unto the Lord daily to be like, yo, go look, waiting for that salvation, man.
I got a quick precept.
Go on.
Job 14 and 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds, they cannot pass.
Go on. The bounds have been set, and that's how it was. It was just like with when Israel was needs to get taken down by the Babylonians or taken down by the Assyrians. That time was set. There were nothing you could do to push that off. Jake getting taken in hardcore bondage over to the Americas, that needed to go down. At the time, that's world-ending terror being visited. But what these things were prophesied, the word went out, and it needed to happen. Why? So we can get to the stage we're at now, where everything is coming to fruition. That's why it's you gotta look at things spiritually, because these Edomites are looking at that, and they've got a puffed up sense of pride, like they're on some kind of level because they took down Jake, and they'll still look down on Jake. Both Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom still look down on both of them, because why? Because he's looking like, oh well, he conquered you in the past. But that's the thing, is those things were set, just like with in the time of the Greeks, where the Lord basically had the temple get completely ransacked. These things, the Lord had them play out. Why? For prophecy's sake. Because even like with Hanukkah, the rededication of the temple, that's a high holy day. These things need to be set up. You got what down with Esther and Mordecai,
Purim, yeah.
Purim. These things occurred for reasons. Same with Egypt. It's like in Egypt, it was like what 430 years in Egypt, and then what the Passover. That's so these things can continue, man. But because it's basically so these things can happen because that's what the Lord had set. So we're basically playing out them roles still to this day, and that's as well as part of Esau's witchcraft, is that that free will, that do as thou wilt spirit, because that's what keeps the people bugged out, man, completely indulging in wickedness and bringing about their own destruction. And Jake is partaking in that. But then what? It's high time to awake from sleep. Those the elect's gonna wake up out of it. Okay. On the time Okay, verse 11. Searching what or what manner of time the Spirit of the Anointed which was in them did signify, when it testified beforehand the sufferings of the Anointed and the glory that should follow, unto whom it was revealed that not unto themselves, but unto us did they minister the things which are now reported unto you by them, and that have preached the gospel unto you with the Holy Spirit sent down from heaven, which things the angels desire to look into. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, as obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lusts in your ignorance. Yeah, because we're in that state of ignorance before. That's the thing, is that worldly approach, and you have guys that come in and try and meld the world with the word, and they're basically trying to either make merchandise or make some form of bring in some form of glory onto themselves. But they don't realize this is all about Yahweh Shai getting his shine, because it's only through Yahweh Shai that it's happening at all. So then, at what point, a guy trying to bring that shine onto himself, he don't know what's going on. And there's multiple scriptures according to them, man. It's like Jude, and then all throughout Titus as well. Titus, I think, too. But as he which hath called you is But as he which hath called you is holy, so be holy in all manner of conversation, because it is written, "By ye holy, for I am holy." Yeah, so we're meant to be speaking holy, man, speaking righteous things. That's why it's like for a guy to say, "Oh, go get the Maxine." That guy is he ain't dealing with the Spirit's not dealing with him, man. He's not. That's not holy conversation. That's complete trust and faith in Esau's wrong. When you read through even Revelation 13, you read it through. It's what it's about. That's the spirit of the people in the world, basically completely under the vibration of the beast, man. That's why they'll follow through and do whatever. Everyone's looking at you deal with this present situation. Look at it spiritually. Everyone's bugged out, man. They've been terrorized by Esau for the last year. They have no hope, no salvation, because all their hope and salvation was in the folly, man, the bread and circuses of this kingdom. Being able to go and to the south of France, or go to to coast of Italy, and spend a weekend, spend a week there, 2 weeks there, every year, and go to different festivals here, and then summertime comes around and the girls are out, or when carnival's on, all these things, carnival being cancelled, people will be crying tears of blood. That's because why? That's all they want. That's all they can see. Their pineal gland is calcified. They ain't got no spirituality to look at what's going down, because they can't perceive even that this is a time of the end. That's the thing. If you're further invested in this kingdom, you don't realize this place is done, man. It's toast. If you think about dollars, pound notes, or or enjoying yourself, going to see whatever festival, whatever this, then you're not aware of the times and seasons at play, because it's evident through the time. It's the Spirit's been out here from the start of 2020. It's intensified to the point where it's just like, yo, now this thing's a wrap. Everything is pointing towards this thing is coming to a close real soon. And then as such, that means that like, yo, you need to be doing the utmost to be sure that you get a ticket on that chariot, man. Really, that's meant to be the mindset that you're in. If you're in the opposite mindset, then you don't really know what's going on. And these elites are really looking to get in, because like even what's his name, Prince Philip. This he croaked at 99. So what? These elites are up in age, man. These guys looking to get that kingdom in before it's too late, man.
Well, really, he got his child, he got his wish, man. He gets to be reincarnated as a deadly virus, man. So
yeah. That guy's a fucking maniac.
It's quite funny now, because he died in the midst of a pandemic as well. So that says everything, man. There may be some kind of undertone to him saying that, and but it shows you the signs of the times. That was what he said, basically. He said a deadly virus that would kill loads of people to deal with overpopulation. So that kind of sets a ball in motion that, you know, he said it, so that's what's coming, man. You know,
Yeah.
and there's more. They said there's a new strain in America. I think it's an East Indian East Indian variation or something like that. A new variant out
Yeah,
there.
I think they said they discover new variants, like X amount of new variants every week or something. Because it's basically that's the thing is it's like with this, these elites have clearly shown they're not really gonna let any opportunity go to waste. And what you have presently is an opportunity, man. Man are utilizing the opportunity
Crisis,
greatly.
climate change as well.
Yeah, well, that's
working right now.
that great reset. Yeah, all of a sudden, like, that's the whole spirit of that great reset. Basically saying, oh yeah, this is an opportunity we can't waste. And then it's basically going to be what, bringing in that new world order. 'Cause that's what these elites are focused on. That's what they're looking for, and that's the thing as well. Is the people of the world, they don't really want to meditate on these things, because that just as this past year they've been filled with the terror of wow, is this it? Is this life? I'm just gonna sit here in my room, scared of a invisible virus, and never and never live life again. Their existential dread of basically being in the power of these elites that can do it. It's like the government. People have to sit there believing the government has their best interest at heart, because otherwise they're gonna bug out, man. But then that's what they're carnal, man, carnally minded. All they're looking at is the flesh. You're looking at Esau, what Esau's got militarily, what he can do, how he can physically impact, the realm. Then you'd be like, oh, what can we do? But then you realize it's all flying through the spirit. These things need to all go on so that we can get in the kingdom, man. That's why it's received with joy, man.
Quickly get a precept to back up your point. This is the book of Acts 14 and 22. And it reads, it says, let me read from verse 21. And when they had preached the gospel to that city and taught many, they returned again to Lystra and to Iconium and Antioch, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High Yahweh. And that's the point. There's going to be much tribulation to enter into the kingdom. That's how it goes, man. The Lord loves controversy, man. Even look at the life and times of Yahweh Shai, right? Acts of Yahweh Shai. A lot of people didn't know that, one of the forms of contention was that, I believe it was Caiaphas, when he was speaking to Nicodemus in the book of John, he said, look, search you the prophecy or something to that effect. No great thing will come out of Galilee. But they didn't know that he wasn't born in Galilee. They didn't know that.
Yeah,
and that's one of the controversial things of the truth.
Yeah.
That moving in the spirit is just walk in the spirit, man, and just see what the spirit, and hope, and pray that it speaks to your favor. That's really it. The Lord said through much tribulation we'll enter into the kingdom. So you just got to and have the mentality of Job, because we're all Jobs in our own walk. He said, even if he slay me, I'll maintain my integrity in him. And that's really, where we are. I believe, hope I'm even thinking about with our righteousness, filthy rags. There's many scriptures that speak to that. That we just gotta walk in His faith and just trust in the Lord. That's what we got.
I got his precepts as well. Daniel 2:44. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. For so much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and there break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great power have made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. That was the point I wanted to get. The dream is certain, the interpretation thereof sure, because that's why that's the time we're in, that time of trouble. Because that's the thing is that trouble. You even go back to Egypt, man. Egypt and plagues. It was all kind. Them guys were getting swamped. Misery upon misery was being stacked, man. Them guys were fucking completely screwed. And that's how the Lord gets down. Because even with, you consider this lockdown, since like last March, you had all kinds of economic woes. People are all kinds of done. Bare people lost their jobs, bare businesses shut down. And the thing is people are putting their hope in, oh, we're finally gonna reopen, well, over here anyway, gonna reopen, blah blah blah. You can go to the pub on like June 21st or whatever. You can rave it up and all that. That's the spirit they're all in, but they don't realize it's further miseries are coming, man, are on the way.
This is the beginning. Well, not even the end of the end, man.
Yeah, the end of the end. These things it's only gonna get worse. It's until it's the climax is gonna be nuclear missiles flying, man. It's only gonna increase in scale. But then that's why it's like, yeah, people are simple as hell. And that's the thing. For that stability, that peace of mind, these guys are willing to accept anything, man. That's why they're gonna run and get the mark, man. They're gonna run and get 2. Back in First Peter's, First Peter's 1:17, and if you call on the Father, who without respect of persons judgeth according to every man's work, pass the time of your sojourning here in fear. For so much as ye know that ye were not redeemed with corruptible things, as silver and gold from your vain conversation, received by tradition from your fathers, but with the precious blood of the anointed, as of a lamb without blemish and without spot, who verily was foreordained before the foundation of the world, but was manifest in these last times for you, who by him do believe in the Most High, that raised him up from the dead and gave him glory, that your faith and hope might be in the Most High. Yeah, so these things is all that you're seeing as well. Everything you should be meditating on. Yo, Yahushua is the one who gave us the opportunity, man. That's why you should have the mind of what? So if you love me, feed my sheep, man. You should be thinking about keeping your eye on the prize, doing the work, and staying in the spirit, man. Watch as well as pray. Because that's why it's like, you see, even in the States, Joe Biden, he's always been on that gun control legislation. And now he's just done it by executive order. Which, I ain't looked into the specifics of it, but I think it was, I can't even remember. I read a few lines, but I was waiting for the full details to come out. But he's basically been going after guns, because why, he had in like the last month or something.
He labelled it epidemic. That's what he said that. Yeah, he made it.
Yeah, because like the last month he had like, I don't know, man, maybe like 5-6 shootings, like mass shootings. And it's like, even the last one you had was like some guy who was in the NFL, meant to have shot up like 5-6 people and then offed himself. I'm like, yo, the Lord just put the spirit on there, because why? It's the times we're in. There's a time as where it's judgment's coming out on a wild level, man. And it's it lets you know it's not gonna tone down. Because as far as that's why it's like you got the situation in the Middle East developing, you got all kinds of things developing, and why? It's because it's that time, man. It's the time of the end.
Time of judgment. Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I ain't got nothing to add.
Says, seeing ye have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Spirit unto unfeigned love of the brethren, see that ye love one another with a pure heart fervently, being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible, by the word of the Most High, which liveth and abideth forever. For all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man as the flower of grass. The grass withereth, and the flower thereof falleth away. But the word of the Lord endureth forever, and this is a word which by the gospel is preached unto you. Yeah, the word endures forever, and it's basically that brotherhood, man, that brotherly love. That's meant to endure as well. That's a core part of what
faith.
Yeah, of the faith. Because we're doing this what? It's for the brotherhood's part of it, man. It's all the elect, and that's why it's as well doing the work, because it's for the elect. The word needs to go out to get them all woken up, man. And then it's what? It's a show of your works, man. It's like what? Faith without works is dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's like these things need to be done. So that's all. That's the thing is when it, like you deal with the New Testament, it's now being dealt with in a different manner. Because like before, when those are the circumcision, they were just like, well, I've been keeping the laws. But then they're moving. It's a good example would be the wicked scribes and Pharisees. These guys were up in the top position. They'll basically saying like, yo, this is how you meant to operate. But then they'll going completely off. These guys were in the spirit of Rome, man. Yahushua came, and they knew he fulfilled the prophecies. But then all they were looking at was carnally.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing as like with this truth. It's you got brothers bringing it out. Then they're just saying, oh, you guys are bums. Looking at carnally. Just like, oh, well, that hurt my... Certain things get taught that hurt your feelings, man. But then it's what? This is a thing about... It's about truth, man. You got anything?
Not right now.
Okay. You got something or no?
No, not right now.
Titus 3 and 1. Put them in mind to be. Wait 1 second. Put them in mind to be subject to principalities and powers, to obey magistrates, to be ready to every good work, to speak evil of no man, to be no brawlers, but gentle, showing all meekness unto all men. For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish, disobedient, deceived, serving diverse lusts and pleasures, living in malice and envy, hateful and hating one another. But after that the kindness and love of the Most High our Saviour towards man appeared, not by works of righteousness which we have done, but according to his mercy he saved us by the washing of regeneration and renewing of the Holy Spirit. Yeah, so that's with that brotherhood. It's like the way we're meant to deal is any of those enmities or BS between brothers. That's really just the old man. That's that carnal mindset, man. Because as far as it's like if we're doing the work together, that's meant to be like, yo, that's the ultimate. There can't be a greater bond than doing that, man. Coming together in Yahushua. And really, it's like, yeah, when you do it, however you are in the world, because in Esau's realm, they've got this vague, nebulous term of being a good person. That everyone's got in their mind, I'm a good person.
Yep.
And then whatever the parameters to be a good person, there are no parameters. It just means it's whatever you can just say and justify. It's like, I'll give to charity. I'm a good person. Half of them people that give to charity, these guys are fucking pedophiles. They run pedophile rings. They got bodies on them. They're doing completely vile acts. The world, any of those parameters by the world of which you justify how to kind of act. It ain't gonna work. That's why it's like, when you come in, the way you approach, how you deal with brothers, all that's gonna be renewed and regenerated as well. You got that?
If you got more, I'll wait until after. I'll read it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Verse 6. But he shed on us abundantly through Yahushua HaMashiach, our Savior, that being justified by his grace, we should be made heirs according to the hope of eternal life. Yeah, that's part of what we're waiting to receive as well. Because it's about what? Receiving that regeneration. That new body, man. Basically, being on an extraterrestrial level, man, where we're like superhumans on the earth. Because that's also part of the reward. That's the thing, is these rewards, it's and even with it's like the kingdom, it's gonna be on earth, man. We're gonna receive it. That's why it's any kind of you got a lot of people that on this side, they'll kind of strive for that carnal kind of consolation, man, trying to be famous or musician, actor, someone of some esteem in this world. But then anything you gain on that kind of level, that's only temporal. First of all, because this place is going to be done away with, and secondly, it's none of, they all come with stipulations, man. All comes with ties, man. You got to do vile acts to get these things, and then to maintain it, even worse. And then even then, you got people that still get screwed over, man. You got guys that they'll be at the top of their fame for like a decade, 2 decades, then they end up broke.
Yep.
It's like fucking Mike Tyson. This guy this guy's trying to rejuvenate his fucking boxing career.
Yeah.
Like he's not fallen completely off. You're still trying to hold some form of esteem, but it's you're done away with quick, man. There's when people that grow up now, that's why it's people like, who the fuck is Tupac?
They keep saying it, man.
Yeah.
And Tupac, who gives a fuck about him?
Yeah.
It's funny because as Paul wrote, the fashion of this world passeth away.
Because ultimately, Mike Tyson was in fashion at a certain period of time, but he lost that. He lost all that esteem, and he wants to relive the glory days. That's why he did a charity fight, trying to knock bloody Roy Jones Jr.'s head off. But then, just like you said, who gives a fuck about Tupac? No one gives a fuck about it. Fuck Tupac, really. Because
that was an error.
It was an error.
And then you look back and you say, oh, these guys were just kids. They're like 24, and they didn't know no fucking better. They're just doing nigga shit, basically. And he got the judgment that was allotted to him for doing what he did, right? Because
He was so called what was that word? Conscious. He was so called woke.
That black conscious.
Yeah, but then the nigga went to fucking Las Vegas and gangbanging fucking Bloods and Crip, gangbanging blood on a Crip, and ended up getting shot up. So that shows you all that the vainness in that woke shit, man. And even you could take it still to today. You had a couple years ago, you had this demon bloody what's that black nigga, man? That said that he's gonna get Bloods and Crips on GMS.
Oh, polite.
No like polite.
Yeah.
He's doing the same. That shows you it's just niggerdom. That's all it is. Black culture. All right. So fuck all of that shit.
And that black culture came. That's post-slavery shit, man.
Yeah.
That's Jeremiah 17:4. Post Jeremiah 17:4. Because there's man, we're gangbanging back in Israel, and that shows. That's why it needs to be dissolved, man. All that needs to be dissolved. That's that new shit. Because like even with all that so-called gang culture, there must be brotherhood, blah blah blah. These guys all fuck out on each other's women.
Yeah.
Like just scheme on each other.
There's no honor amongst thieves, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what, we can get you can grab Proverbs 1. Because really, them man are what in that same spirit. Them scorpions, man. And that's been, you've had these gremlin degenerates. That's why it's like Apostle Zara did the video on the two, like the 13 and 12-year-old girl. I think first time I saw a report, they said it was like 15, 13. I was like, God damn, 12 and 13. I'm like, that's why it's, the judgment, them guys need to be taken out of this world, man.
And that's really, yeah. So
that's what the judgment should be, man. Because what that, like...
What have you been exposed to at that young age to want to do something like that?
Completely gone, man.
And the girl was wearing, like, I realized she was wearing Balenciaga. I was thinking, like, you're like, what, 12, 13? Like, you're wearing, like, 100 odd pound bloody... It might have been fake. It might have been, but it just it speaks to that whole social media generation where you have to wear designer clothes and you gotta be, like grunting and all this kind of mumble rap BS. The new niggerdom. Yeah, the new nigga. All right. Okay. Let me. verse 10 says, Proverbs 1 and 10, my son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Casting thy lot among us.
Yeah, that's what them little bratlings are looking to do, man. They're looking to spoil that car. That's the spirit these little shits are in, man. Remember when the lockdown started? It was like you had people fucking drinking bleach, or you had people eating fucking Tide Pods, and it was like there was the bitches going around spitting in like ice cream, opening shit up and spit. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with these niggas, man? These guys have got no fucking semblance of any form of. They're just lost. That's the thing is everything's worsening with the generations.
Yeah.
So it's like now it's and the thing is as well. It's like brother said, that social media exposure. People do mad shit for clout. People licking toilet seats for clout.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
You know what?
Like that could be a brand new toilet, and I'll still be like, what the fuck
Why
are you
would
doing?
you want to lick? Why would that come to your mind?
Ah, god damn.
But even you said that it's funny because I got like they got algorithms set up on that shit, whereby if you feed into certain content, they're gonna keep you within that content. So if you say if you like follow
Pranks.
pranks,
Or whatever.
or you might follow like basketball, you might something that's within
Any
the realms
form.
of black culture, even though it may be a sport or something, but it's deemed, it falls into the realms of black culture.
Or like
If you-
black 12.
Yeah, if you basically like imagery of the sunset, or you like a post about technology, really it's like imagery about things outside of the realms of black culture, they don't let you like it. They'll ultimately dislike your like. So this is the reason why I'm saying that. This is by design. You niggas this ain't something that you can be, created and say, yeah, this is black culture, we created it. Black people were for this. No. This is something Esau gave you. Esau wants you to be like this. He's taking you away, he's removing you far from the truth of Yahweh Bashem El Shai, and he's trying to keep you in a closed track mind of just fucking niggerdom, man. Let me carry on reading Proverbs. So it's Proverbs 1 and 15. My son, walk not thou in the way with them, refrain thy foot from their path, for their foot run to evil, and they make haste to shed blood.
Yeah.
Surely,
The feet run to do evil, man.